This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
Pay's checkout is offered by your banks and credit unions. So when you shop online at participating merchants, your cards appear in one place. Pay's. It checks out. Activation required. See Pays.com to learn more. Terms and conditions apply.
The Roger Stone Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Venezuela is living through one of the most devastating tragedies in modern history. 2 powerful earthquakes, maybe 3. One measured at 7.2 on the Richter scale, the one at 7.5 magnitude, struck that country, along with a smaller one, I think 4.2. But it has left the entire communities beneath concrete, dust, and despair. The official death toll is climbing to above 1,400, expected to go much higher. But what bothers me are reports that the police and the army are not rendering assistance and maybe retarding those. You have delegation, or I should say missions from the United States, from El Salvador, from France, from Mexico, of equipment and medicines and men and people and equipment, and that the regime in Venezuela may be retarding this help. So having spent all of their money on repression, they have no money for a true emergency. We're joined now by Eduardo Bittar. He is the founder and national coordinator of Rumbo Libertad, a Venezuelan political leader, a good friend of mine, a solid conservative and pro-democrat, small d, spokesman and leader. He had to go into exile because he was harassed by the Maduro government. He's emerged as a strong ally of President Trump, a close friend and ally of Jair Bolsonaro, that great former president who's being persecuted in Brazil. But today, we'll discuss the devastating earthquake that struck Venezuela and the regime's, what appears to me to be, institutional collapse. Eduardo, welcome to the Stone Zone and the Roger Stone Show.
Hello, Roger. Thank you for the invitation. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
So what have these earthquakes revealed about the true conditions of Venezuela's regime and its various institutions? Are my suspicions right that they are holding back from helping these beleaguered people?
Bueno, como lo dijimos siempre, el Estado venezolano fue destruido y no existe.
As we have always said, the Venezuelan state is destroyed and no longer exists.
El régimen venezolano demostró que el socialismo deja a un país sin capacidad institucional para enfrentar cualquier situación o emergencia.
The Venezuelan regime has demonstrated that socialism leaves a country without institutional capacity to the face of any emergency situation.
Quienes luchan por Venezuela son los ciudadanos junto a la comunidad internacional.
Those who are fighting for Venezuela are the citizens together with the international community.
Nuestra única esperanza son los rescatistas, los voluntarios, las iglesias, los Estados Unidos, El Salvador, Argentina y demás países que nos ayudan.
Our only hope lies in those rescuers, volunteers, and the churches, the United States, El Salvador, Argentina, and those other countries that are helping us.
No confiamos ni confiaremos jamás en el chavismo y la oposición.
We do not trust, nor will ever trust, never the chavismo and opposition.
Roger.
There are many reports online of people actually seeing the army or the police holding back those seeking to provide relief. To me, I think that is shocking, and it demonstrates what you say is true, that they, having spent all their money on repression, they have no money left for an emergency. But I also find it outrageous that others are still talking about elections. Right now, all focus, as I said on my X, I'm praying for the people of Venezuela. All focus should be on the dead, the dying, and the suffering. Now is not a time to be talking about elections. I think that I do favor elections, but I want real elections with a real alternative to the regime. Delcy and the old regime, ironically, less close to the Cubans and the Cuban communists, but still very much in control. And the president said his venture into Venezuela wasn't about regime change. He has proved that, but now we do need to move to a fair election. But I don't think we can do it as long as you have this failure by the state. That is, I think, unexcusable. Eduardo, does the regime's inability to respond to disaster, and the fact that people like you, ordinary citizens, the churches, have to lead the rescue, doesn't that prove that the state has effectively collapsed?
Así es. Los ciudadanos terminaron sustituyendo el aparato estatal. Queda en evidencia que el modelo socialista debe ser reemplazado.
Citizens end up replacing the state apparatus, making it evident that the socialist model must be replaced.
El mensaje al mundo es que la crisis venezolana nunca fue solamente económica y política.
The message to the world is that the Venezuelan crisis was never merely economic or political.
Es una crisis institucional profunda. Venezuela necesita mucho más que ayuda humanitaria. Necesita reconstruir sus instituciones desde sus cimientos.
It is a profound institutional crisis. Venezuela needs much more than humanitarian aid. It needs to rebuild its institutions from the ground up.
Hay que tomar ventaja sobre el régimen y salvar a Venezuela de forma definitiva.
We must take advantage of the situation regarding the regime and save Venezuela in a definite way.
Resulta profundamente desconectado que algunos estén concentrados en estrategias electorales.
It is profoundly disconnected that some are focused on electoral strategies.
Mi prioridad no es campaña.
My priority today is not a campaign.
Mi prioridad es que aparezca una persona aún más con vida, que llegue una máquina más para remover escombros y que la ayuda internacional entre sin obstáculos.
My priority is that one more person is found alive, that one more machine arrives to remove rubble, and that international aid enters without any obstacles.
Roger.
I certainly share that view. I guess I would respectfully suggest that President Trump and Secretary Marco Rubio, who's proved to be amazingly able, suggest to Delcy and the government that there be no delays in aid to help these people, and see what kind of resources their government has. I mean, although we should have control of all that. My own engineer is from Venezuela. He has family members who've been affected, so I've been getting hourly reports. This is a humanitarian crisis of extraordinary measure, and I think it is a demonstration of the corruption of the current regime and why it cannot stay in place. But we also need to recognize, you and I have both been criticized for saying that we don't believe that Maria Corina Machado is a viable, actual, small d Democrat alternative. Her history of her flirtation with socialism, her support for the disarming of the people, her socialist background indicates to me that she's a Chavista in sheep's clothing, as they say, posing as the Democrat alternative, when in fact she's indeed connected to the regime.
Creo que los venezolanos están evaluando el comportamiento.
I believe that the Venezuelan people is evaluating her behavior.
Considero que el modelo político que promueve la oposición no es el correcto.
I consider the political model promoted by the opposition is not the correct one.
Es el mismo modelo que nos trajo al chavismo al poder. Es el socialismo de Obama, de Biden y Kamala.
It is the same model that brought Chavismo to power. It is the socialism of Obama, Biden, and Kamala.
La vimos a ella recientemente reunida con el equipo de Guaidó, y peor aún, la vimos en Panamá con Rodrigo Cabezas, ministro de Finanzas de Hugo Chávez, responsable de la política fiscal y financiera de la tiranía chavista.
We recently saw her meeting with Guaido's team, and even worse, we saw her in Panama with Rodrigo Cabezas, Hugo Chávez finance minister, responsible for the fiscal and financial policy of the Chavismo tyranny.
Roger.
Let me be very clear. I've written very extensively about this online, so anyone who thinks that I'm unfairly smearing Ms. Machado can find everything I've written about it, everything Eduardo has said and written about it, documenting all of our claims. But what she should be doing today is trying to get aid to the people of Venezuela. To the extent that she has a public voice, that's what she should be addressing, as you are. This is a humanitarian crisis of enormous import, and the state is either doing nothing or, even worse, impeding the millions of dollars of national aid. And who is stepping up? Well, the United States, of course, and Argentina. Kudos to the French. I don't usually agree with much that they do, but they have stepped up in this. El Salvador and President Bukele. Mexico has also stepped up with medicines, men, and equipment. But meanwhile, the regime does nothing. I think it is disgraceful. We'll talk a bit more about the situation in Venezuela when we return. We're talking to Eduardo Bittar, who is the founder of Rumbo Libertad. He's a leading democratic small d voice for a free and fair Venezuela, and we'll be right back with more of him. I wish I spoke Spanish. This would be a lot smoother. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Stone Zone on The Roger Stone Show.
This episode is brought to you by Google Health. Stop chasing someone else's definition of health. What matters is what's healthy for you. Google Health offers a new kind of coach built with Gemini for effortless tracking, sleep insights, and holistic coaching tailored to you. Visit googlestore.com to learn more and start a new relationship with your health. Requires Google account, Google Health app, internet, and Google Health Premium subscription. Features subject to change. Availability and results vary. Not intended for medical purposes. Works independently of Gemini apps. Check responses for accuracy.
This episode is brought to you by Fox One. Watch all 104 matches of the FIFA World Cup live in 4K for just $19.99 a month with 3 days free. Build your own multi-view, choose up to 3 streams, and follow player spotlights. Stay on top of every moment with live stats, highlights, and instant replays. The FIFA World Cup, streaming live on Fox One. Offers are subject to change. See fox.com for complete terms and conditions.
Need a laptop that's built to perform and designed to last all day? Select Windows 11 PCs starting at $499.99 are now at Best Buy. Learn more at bestbuy.com. Best Buy. Imagine that.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength, Halliday! Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday! Halliday, bring it on!
Welcome back into the Stone Zone. I apologize for our audio problem we had there, but I urge you to go to dyingdollar.com, dyingdollar.com, and talk about how you can protect your wealth through strategic metals like gold and silver. So we are talking to Eduardo Bittar, founder and national coordinator of Rumbo Libertad, a Venezuelan political leader, a spokesman for the true opposition, but we're focused on the actual earthquake. Eduardo, what can you tell us about the number of people at this point? I'm seeing reports of as many as 1,400 people, but many people are still in remote areas where they cannot be reached or where the government is preventing them from being reached. These people digging through rubble with their bare hands are using broken pieces of metal, flashlights from cell phones, buckets, ropes, anything they can find. People just wildly digging, looking for their loved ones. It is horrific. In the middle of this fear and this grief and this devastation, everybody has stepped up but the Venezuelan government, which I find is outrageous. This is an oil-rich government. Why they're not helping their people is really extraordinary. Eduardo, what do you think this tells us about the regime?
Bueno, sí, es impresionante cómo inclusive los cuerpos policiales del chavismo, los militares y policías están robando a la gente inclusive.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how even the police and military people is even plundering and looting the people.
Están entrando a las casas estos funcionarios policiales y militares del régimen a robar todo lo que encuentran. Inclusive vimos un video donde están robando dólares en efectivo.
They're going into people's homes, it's police and military, and we got to see a video in which they are stealing dollars out of these locations.
La gente que se ha organizado inclusive con sus camionetas, con sus carros, con alimentos y trasladado esto por todo el país, han sido capturados inclusive y robada el material.
The people with their own vehicles, with food and supplies, have using their own means to go around the country, and they've been stopped, and their supplies have been taken away by these people.
Tenemos que enviar un mensaje importante a Donald Trump, a su gobierno, inclusive a la embajada en Caracas, de que el trabajo se está haciendo con las garras, con las manos, la gente, y sobre todo el esfuerzo que están haciendo está siendo obstaculizado por el gobierno, por el régimen chavista.
We need to send a message to Donald Trump, to the people that knows that they're using their hands, their bare hands, to do whatever it is that they can, but whatever they're attempting to do is being prevented or stopped by these members of the regime.
El régimen, inclusive, Roger, el régimen se preparó inclusive para combatir al pueblo desarmado, pasar tanques por encima, asesinar gente, pero vemos una situación que muestra que el Estado no existe en Venezuela.
The regime has, really taken over the people, used tanks to go over them, but is demonstrating now that it really is not prepared for anything like this in Venezuela.
Yeah, I think it's very clear. Venezuela is a seismic country. It could have trained rescue forces. It could have stocked emergency warehouses. It could have functioning hospitals, disaster response protocols, all of these things. They have none of these things.
Así es, yo creo que personas como tú, Roger, ayudan mucho en esta situación. Creo que Washington tiene que comprender aún más que la continuidad del régimen chavista no es favorable.
Yes, just like you say, Roger, and people like you need to help the government of the United States understand that this chavismo cannot continue because it's obviously not delivering.
Public debt is $240 billion. The regime has to end, but right now we have to focus on saving lives. So I want to thank our guest, Eduardo Bittar, who I think has a robust and promising future as a leader in Venezuela. And thank him for joining us and to talk about the horrific situation in Venezuela with these earthquakes. We'll be right back with more.
Thanks for listening to The Roger Stone Show. You can hear The Roger Stone Show Sunday afternoons at 3. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?